It is that time of the year again when my friends and I make our yearly trip to the sea at the end of the monsoon season. Numerous families, including ours, visit other family members who live far away. But I think I will stay here and not make those distant trips again. After all, I'm getting on in years. The Surin Islands are like home to me. I was born here and I made a living here. Our family has lived here for generations. And I can remember when I was still a child. I had such fun splashing and playing and diving around in the crystal clear waters here. A perfect blue sky up above and lush green forests all around. I felt as though I was a part of those things around me and could never be separated from them. Over the past 10 years, I have noticed that the number of tourists visiting these islands has increased steadily. At first, I wondered what they came in search of, because for me, everything seemed ordinary. Then I began to understand that what seemed ordinary to me was a marvel for the people from the city. They come here to relax, to view the clear water of the sea, the many beautiful fish, and the colony of the tiny animal in the sea they refer to as coral. The chief of the national park once explained to us that coral really is a marine animal that is actually quite important to the environment surrounding coral reefs. The Surin Islands where I live are rich in their diversity of marine life, but that's another word I don't understand very well. All I know is that when there are a lot of those tiny animals in the water, there are a lot of fish as well, and we can fish as much as we want for our food needs and never run out. The chief also said that the coral reef surrounding the Surin Islands consists mainly of antler coral. The reef is a shallow water reef and one of the most abundant and beautiful reefs in Thailand. If by the word abundant he means lots of those coral and huge schools of fish, I would agree with him, because I remember that since I was a child, I have seen exactly that. I guess that's what attracts the city folk to this place, its abundance. My house is situated along the beautiful Ao Tao beach. The reason they call it Ao Tao, or Turtle Bay, is I guess because the bay is home to hundreds of turtles. I see divers wearing very colourful suits, air tanks attached to their backs so they can breathe underwater nearly every day. They come and dive here to view the turtles. They're quite different from us when we go out to dive for shellfish. We don't need to wear such fancy things. All we have to do is hold our breath. I used to wonder why those divers always wore such huge masks over their faces when they went diving. But about 4 or 5 years ago, one of those tourists gave me a pair of those things they call diving masks. I tell you, now I know why. They give me a much better view of things under the surface. I could finally see all the intricate of those coral. I could also see the beautiful colours of the many different kinds of fish that teem in the waters here. I have never seen such magnificent colours, and then I realised that it must be that strange and wonderful beauty that the visitors love so much. I also heard the chief say one time that if the number of people who come to visit here continues to increase, it could also cause damage. I'm not sure if I understand why that would be so, but I do know that many years ago, before the tourists came and before the government declared this area a national park, local fishermen would come here and use explosives to fish or drop their anchors on the coral reef. They certainly created a lot of damage. At the time, I didn't really understand what problems they might cause, but then later, I noticed that the fish were disappearing, and we couldn't fish as easily as we used to. We had to go out much further to get enough fish to eat. But what about the tourists? How can they possibly cause damage? The chief said that if the tourists dive carelessly and stand on the coral or break it off, they could damage it forever. If that happens, it certainly won't be good for anybody. The fish will disappear again, which is something we really don't want to happen. Having a lot of visitors pass through here has been good for us though. We've all been earning a little bit more acting as guides and taking them out to the best diving spots. Seeing them all excited and happy makes me happy too.